Tonight on WBOC News at 11.
A bizarre case out of Kent County, cocaine found in this man's prosthetic leg. What a judge ruled this week concerning the evidence.
And get ready for some high school football highlights. It's the first edition of the Final Score. Tonight's feature game is Queen Anne's at Kent County.
Well, the heat is going to edge off over the weekend, but we may also see an increased risk of rip currents. I'll have the holiday weekend forecast for you coming up.
Now, WBOC News at 11, Delmarva's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Maxine Bensel.
And I'm Paul Butler. This is WBOC News at 11. Well, topping our news tonight, she's already started her sentence for her rape conviction, but there's still good news for former Baltimore Ravens cheerleader Molly Shattuck. She will not face similar charges in Maryland. That was ruled today by Baltimore County prosecutors. Shattuck, of course, was convicted of fourth-degree rape involving a 15-year-old boy at a Bethany Beach vacation last Labor Day weekend. She began her 48-weekend incarceration sentence today in Delaware. Also in Delaware, a judge has tossed out all the evidence against this man who was arrested in Kent County after police found cocaine hidden inside his prosthetic leg during a traffic stop. A judge ruled this week that the drug charges against Marlo Holmes were the result of an unlawful search and seizure by Dover police in Kent County.
Police in Accomack County recover a stolen car belonging to the victim of this week's homicide in Parkside. Officials say 71-year-old Fred Douglas Shreves was found dead after a shooting Wednesday night. Police say that his car, a 1999 Chevrolet Lumina sedan, was taken from the scene of his murder. Authorities are still investigating and ask anyone with any information to call the sheriff's office in Accomack County.
Well, in Wicomico County, WBOC has confirmed the Department of Justice has investigated Wicomico County Public Schools for a, quote, disparity of discipline. A source tells us the DOJ investigated the school system earlier this year. A second source with Wicomico County calls the report pretty scathing and critical of the school's discipline of minorities. Now, details are few right now. We've reached out to the Department of Justice for that report. They acknowledge they received our request, but we have not seen the report yet. We also reached out to Wicomico County Schools for their side of the story. Spokesperson Tracy Saylor would not confirm a Department of Justice investigation of her school system, but Tracy says Wicomico County is reviewing its school system's policies. Now stay tuned to WBOC in the days and weeks as we learn more about what is in that report and who it affects in Wicomico County.
Well, Governor Larry Hogan's administration has outlined across-the-board budget cuts to Maryland agencies. Overall, the 2% agency-wide cuts add up to about $118 million. The biggest reduction on the list comes from layoffs and eliminating 127 vacant positions in the university system of Maryland. Now, that will save the state about $18.2 million in Maryland.
Making the Little River more accessible in Kent County. This is as DNREC dredges the river and removes old pilings. The process began a few weeks ago and is covering 2 miles of the river. Now, crews are pulling out 79,000 cubic yards of sediment. Officials say before the dredging, the Little River could be very shallow at spots.
At low tide, it would only be a foot, maybe even 6 inches deep. With this dredging project, they're dredging to at least a mean low water of 5 feet throughout the entire river, which would allow all of our boats, no matter which boat it is, or any of the rescue boats in the county, for that matter, to make access in and out of the river.
Now, the $1 million project is expected to be completed by the end of this month in Kent County.
Well, thousands of people are expected to hit Delmarva this holiday weekend for one last summer getaway, but that means a lot of traffic is expected. Taking a live look at the Bay Bridge from the Maryland Transportation Authority's camera, officials expect more than 350,000 vehicles to cross the bridge before Monday, looking very clear out there now. Some people we spoke with today said they're avoiding traveling and enjoying the holiday from home.
We're going to actually do the beach at night tonight. We're going to do dinner on the beach and go a little later and try and enjoy that. We haven't done that all summer, which we like to do, a bonfire, a barbecue and stuff.
Very nice. Well, we will continue to follow traffic conditions throughout the weekend. Be sure to tune in to WBOC News and our Facebook and Twitter page for the very latest updates. And if you do decide to hit the beach this weekend, our local beach patrols are warning of rip currents. Chief Meteorologist Dan Satterfield says rip currents are expected to be significant tomorrow. Lifeguards warn if you feel like you're caught in a current, swim parallel to the shore and, of course, try to remain calm. All of our local senators have now expressed their stance on President Obama's Iran deal. Maryland Senator Ben Cardin announced his opposition today. Cardin says this deal would legitimize Iran's nuclear program. As for passing the deal, that goal remains in sight but becomes a little bit harder after Cardin's decision in Maryland. Well, temperatures are dropping, some compared to earlier this week. And taking a live look into Ocean City, Dan says the Labor Day weekend weather is a little iffy. He has your forecast coming up next on WBOC News.
And still ahead, we kick off our first edition of the Final Score. Find out how your favorite high school team did in their opening game tonight. That's when WBOC News at 11 continues. But first, the people, the places, our history.
WBOC is proud to serve all of Delmarva. Here's Captain Willie Dykes.
There's no need to fret over renovations scheduled at Janes Island State Park in Somerset County. Work on the full-service cabins will take place in the winter. Chopper 16 flew over the park to see why the delay is good for visitors looking to enjoy the end of summer there.
Located near Crisfield, Janes Island State Park offers a unique way to enjoy the beauty and bounty of the Chesapeake Bay. On the mainland, you've got the campground, the rental cabins, picnic areas, and a boat ramp and marina. The island portion of the park includes close to 3,000 acres of salt marsh, more than 30 miles of water trails, and miles of isolated, pristine beaches. Even though the island's resources have been harvested for thousands of years, a certain wildness remains, making it seem untouched. The waterways on the island are protected enough that even a novice paddler can go for a ride.
The James Island Water Trail System was named to the American Canoe Association's inaugural list of recommended water trails. If you're planning an overnight trip, 3 backcountry campsites are located along the trails for your convenience. WBOC is proud to serve the Janes Island State Park and all of Somerset County, and proud to partner with my friends at Johnny Janosic World of Furniture. Shop today during their huge Labor Day sale and get 2 great bonus offers. 52 months no-interest financing, plus an extra 15% off their everyday low prices at Johnny Janosic in Laurel and Dover. I'm Captain Willie with Chopper 16.
Well, finally, it's going to feel a bit more like September around here. Nothing on radar out there tonight, but a fairly decent onshore flow developing now. That will continue through the weekend. It will diminish some on Monday. Monday will be the better day to go to the beach, by the way. Temperatures out there now in the low to mid 70s, 75 at Rehoboth Beach and in Georgetown, Dover the same, 73 at the Salisbury Airport. We still have a nice breeze, too, out of the northeast at between 7 and 14, northeast at 18 at Wallops Island right now. Our weather watchers also all generally in the low to mid 70s, 76 in Long Neck, Kenny Thomas at 77 in Cambridge, Pemberton Elementary at 75, and so is Ocean Pines. Ginger at Chincoteague also at 78, Clay and Princess Anne in the mid 70s. Backdoor cool front came through the area earlier today. That's pushing down to the south, and behind it we'll even see a slight drop in the humidity tomorrow. It'll still be humid, but it won't be as muggy, and that breeze will make it feel a lot more comfortable. Now, anytime you have a pretty good onshore flow, you'll get some periods of cloud cover, maybe even a spotty shower, and I won't rule that out tomorrow night, or even on Sunday, but there'll also be plenty of sunshine as we go into the weekend. Monday, though, by far the safer day, and with the strong onshore flow, we do have that risk of rip currents on the beaches. Same thing if you're going up to the Jersey Shore this weekend, just as much there as well. Around 70 tonight, highs tomorrow around 80 to 81, a little warmer than that, 82, 83 on the west side of Delmarva. The beaches, though, will not reach 80 tomorrow with that onshore flow. And if you're going over to College Park for the Maryland football game, pretty warm over there, around 84 by the second half. Kickoff at noon tomorrow, but partly cloudy to mostly sunny conditions there. 81 to 82 on Sunday, a little warmer on Monday. As we go into next week, our above normal temperatures will continue at least into Thursday, but by Thursday night into Friday, a frontal boundary moves in with showers and thunderstorms fairly likely, and we could actually use the rain. After that front goes through, a cooler pattern will develop. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Dan. Well, that wraps up the news and weather portion of our broadcast.
That's going to do it for us. We'll see you back here next week. But first, let's turn over to Scott Abraham with this year's first edition of the Final Score. Scott?
Thanks, Paul and Maxine. Tonight on the Final Score, we'll have highlights from 6 different high school football games across Delmarva, including the big showdown in Wharton between Kent County and Queen Anne's. Find out which team kicked off the new season with a victory. The Final Score is next. Stay with us.
So okay. Find your part now. And just listen to your IFB. You'll be able to hear the show in the IFB.
KRYSTLERICH. Crystal Rich, 1, 2. You're hearing me from across the room? Oh, shoot. Can you help me really quick? I'm so sorry.
What? Oh, you need to put... All right.
Sorry, guys. KRYSTLERICH.
Hey, how you doing, folks? Welcome to the season debut of the Final Score. I'm Scott Abraham. Thank you for tuning in. The waiting is over. Another high school football season on Delmarva has kicked off. Week 1, and already we have a terrific matchup. One of the biggest upsets last year during the high school football season took place in Centerville. David slayed Goliath when Kent County went on the road and absolutely stunned Queen Anne's. The long-anticipated rematch was tonight, but this time the scene shifted to the home of the Trojans. Hey, the newest member of the WBOC sports team, Crystal Rich, joins us in the Dover Bureau with those highlights.
Thanks, Scott. It's my absolute pleasure to be a part of the WBOC team. When I think of Bayside North rivals, I'm thinking Queen Anne's at Kent County. The Trojans' upset win over the Watt Lions last year was an absolute crazy matchup. They had their first win since 2002. Now in their season opener, both teams lit up the field in an extremely close matchup. Queen Anne's is looking for some payback while Kent County is trying to prove they belong with the big boys of the Bayside Conference. Let's take it to Wharton. It's our game of the week. 6:43 in the first, Kent County junior running back Marquand Green makes a huge leaping reception from senior quarterback C.B. Curran and jets to the end zone for the touchdown. The Trojans' two-point conversion, they get the two-point conversion with the early 8-0 lead. 3:08 left in the first, Queen Anne's senior running back Ahmad Gray rushes and dives for the touchdown, making the score 15-6 with Kent County in the lead. 6:01 left in the first half. Handoff is to Kent County senior running back Daquan Seymour, breaking tackles as he gets away and takes it all the way home for the Trojans. Queen Anne's could have pulled off the win with a 30-yard field goal, but Luke Matrinko pushed it to the left. The Trojans proved that last year was no fluke, finishing the close game with a 46-45 victory over the Lions. Scott, what a wild game. If this is any indication of how the high school football season is going to be, then you better buckle up.
Crystal Rich, thank you very much. It's great to have you on board in Kent County. I apologize. I picked against you. I was wrong. Job well done. Tremendous season opening victory. Well, both North Carolina and Easton are expected to be contenders in the always difficult Bayside 3A, 2A division. The Warriors, a regional finalist from a year ago, loaded the bus for a tussle with the upstart Bulldogs. Chopper 16 high above Ridgely. This is a critical game to start the new season. First quarter, North Carolina leading 6-0. Quarterback Cameron Bird going deep, right on the money to Antoine Black. TJ Nixon can't bring him down. 13-zip Bulldogs. The defense flexing their muscle as well. Nixon nowhere to run. Swallowed up in the backfield. The Warriors would have to punt. And that did not go according to plan either. The snap right here goes right through the hands. North Carolina pounces all over the punter. The Bulldogs would later score another touchdown to make it 20-0. 7 different players scored in this game for the Bulldogs. North Carolina blows out Easton 48-12. Staying with Chopper 16 in Stevensville, Kent Island hosting Colonel Richardson. Second quarter, the Bucks on top 6-0. Let's make it 13. Joe Sweet gets into the end zone. Kent Island building that confidence. Next Bucks drive, the handoff is to Sweet. Bounces off Charles Clotterson, makes a cut to the outside, and watch the speed. Yes, sir, powers across the goal line. He had 3 touchdowns on the night, including a 60-yarder. It was a tough day at the office for the Colonel Richardson offense. They just could not move the football on this tough Bucks defense. Kent Island gets past the Colonels 44-6. We're just getting started on the final score. Great matchup at Wycomico County Stadium between Y-High and Cambridge. Plus, we'll take you to Worcester County, where Snow Hill opened up their brand new stadium against Parkside. Find out if the Eagles sent their fans home happy with a victory. Stay with us. The final score rolls on.
We are the Y-High cheerleaders, and you're watching the final score on WBOC.
Before we get back to the highlights, I had a little Twitter contest tonight to see who could guess the color of my tie correctly. My shout out tonight goes to Kenny Hunderfun of Polytech. Well done on the red tie prediction. Thank you for following, and of course, thank you for watching. Well, it was a big night for the Snow Hill community. Their brand new all-purpose stadium officially opened up its gates to football fans. The schedule makers didn't give the Eagles any favors, with Parkside coming to town to try and spoil the party. The Rams trying to continue their momentum from the end of last season's second possession of the game for Snow Hill. Damian Thornton takes the handoff and pushes his way into the end zone. He will go down in the school history books. The first touchdown scored at the new stadium, 8-0 Eagles. Second quarter, Parkside responds. My main man, Luke Pitzenbarger to Quillen Pompilus. 2-point conversion, no good. The Rams down 8-6. Ensuing kickoff, Snow Hill's Amonte Allen fields the ball at the 1-yard line. For some reason, there was not a lot of white jerseys surrounding him. That's a big mistake. Allen is off to the races, 99 yards on the touchdown. He would also score on another kickoff return later in the quarter. 275 all-purpose yards for Allen tonight. Not enough, though. Parkside drops the hammer in the second half to beat Snow Hill 44-26. I've known Cambridge head football coach Jake Coleman for a number of years. Let me tell you, this guy loves football, but he loves his team even more. I remember last year before the Vikings non-conference game with Cape Henlopen, I told Jake, you guys better be careful. Cape is a different beast compared to the other 1A teams you faced during the season. His response was simple. Bringing them on. Coleman and his Vikings opening the new season at Y-High. Late in the second quarter, Cambridge on the move. Quarterback Nathaniel Lowe hits K-Ron Nichols in the flat, breaks a tackle, and then picks up a huge block that springs him into the end zone. 18 yards, the Vikings up 14-0 at the break. Opening possession of the third quarter. Cambridge smells blood in the water. Lowe hits a wide open Jacob Morris. The Tribe secondary had some blown coverage on that play. 64 yards on the touchdown. Lowe had 3 TDs passing. Later, the Vikings, Taj Morlock, receiving the punt, reverses field. Watch number 11, Kobe Jones. Oh my goodness, what a violent block on Jeremy Taylor. Have another look. Jones would actually be flagged for targeting on this play. Wow, so much for my upset special. Cambridge proves me wrong. Knocking off Y-High 35-7. The Vikings look tough again. In a non-conference matchup, Stephen Decatur taking on Bow Manor. First quarter, the Eagles punting. I want you to watch Seahawks junior Tyree Henry go to work. Folks, remember this name. Henry makes one guy miss, then delivers a filthy cutback upfield. Only the punter to beat. Cue up the highlight reel. The 6'5", 215-pound wideout brings it all the way back. 85 yards on the touchdown. Decatur on the board first. Second quarter, Henry making an impact on defense as well. Sniffs out the wide receiver screen. Next Seahawks possession, 3rd and 10. Quarterback Darian McKenzie finds Henry all alone in the end zone. The young man is a beast. Stephen Decatur wins the season opener, beating Bow Manor 21-7. Hey, tomorrow afternoon there is one game in the Bayside Conference. Bennett will battle Washington inside Wicomico County Stadium. It's a noon opening kickoff. We will have the highlights of that game. Hey, with social media taking over, we're asking for your help this season. Twitter and Facebook users during the season, send us your high school football scores. You can send score updates or just post the final score of the game you are following. On Twitter, use the hashtag WBOC Final Score. Over on Facebook, go to our WBOC fan page and post away. You won't just be helping us, but all the football fans on Delmarva wondering how their hometown team fared in the big game. Emotional night in Pocomoke City. The season opener for the Pocomoke field hockey team facing Worcester Prep. First half, the Warriors strike. Peyton Becker feeds Lexi Butler for the tally. Great start, Pocomoke. A couple of minutes later, Butler in the clear. She knows how to finish. So tough to contain 2-0 Warriors. The Becker-Butler combo would hook up again. Pay attention to these two young ladies this season. Very talented. Hat trick Lexi delivers. Pusey strong. Congrats to the Pocomoke field hockey team and head coach Brandy Castaneda. Job well done, knocking off Worcester Prep in the season opener 5-0. The Pocomoke boys soccer team also picked up a win in their season opener, beating Snow Hill 1-0. Well, when you think of field hockey on Delmarva, 2 words come to mind: Cape Henlopen, the Vikings have been a powerhouse for a number of years in the state of Delaware. Last year, they claimed their 4th straight state title. Well, WBOC's Crystal Rich explains how Cape is focused on their drive for 5 this season.
It's no secret that Cape Henlopen has a big target on their back.
Especially after 4, people want to be that team that's going to take Cape down. And it's like, who will be the first one? Who's going to go after them? Who's going to win the next state championship? And it's easy to hate people when they win. But there's a lot of talent, and it's tough to stay at the top, but we're going to try to stay there as long as we can.
You read so many articles, and the first thing that teams are going to say is that we want Cape, and I think that it just creates a fire for us to keep winning.
The dominant program has a 69-game in-state winning streak.
I definitely think we have a personal drive. Like, we're always motivated to be the best, and at practice you can tell we're always trying to learn new things and just have a competitive drive within each other.
We're out here 3 hours a day. We practice hard all 3 hours, and we run and we do a bunch of different kind of drills, so it definitely helps us.
Their biggest key to their success? Player development.
We have middle school girls that come to our games from Beacon and Mariner, and they're just waiting to put on that Cape uniform when they get here. So they're just taught from an early age to work hard because this is your goal.
As a freshman, you come in and you see so much tenacity and so much aggressiveness, and you just want to live up to the expectations of the older girls, and you want to carry on the tradition of winning state championships.
The Vikings won their last 4 state titles, but are not concentrating on their successful past. The team knows they have a target on their backs, and to win, the key is consistency.
We don't like to lose, so we definitely strive to win every game.
The level of commitment we have, most of us play indoor, we play all year round, we get with each other in the summer, we run. Definitely the level of commitment is huge.
The Vikings are committed to winning their 5th straight state title this season. Crystal Rich, WBOC Sports.
And Cape Henlopen begins the new season on Tuesday, September 15th at Smyrna. Well, also a reminder to all those high school senior student athletes on Delmarva, we are currently accepting applications for our WBOC Mount Air Farms Scholar Athlete of the Month program. Every month, the honoree will receive a $1,000 college scholarship. Now, at the end of the school year, 2 of the winners will each be given an additional $2,500 college scholarship. In a couple of weeks, we'll announce our September winner. So get those applications in. You can get it now on WBOC.com. Just click on our sports tab and all the information will be right there. College football is also back. Delaware State is getting ready for their opener with Liberty plus Friday Night Lights in Newark. The University of Delaware football team battled Jacksonville. Find out if the Hens picked up that season opening W. Don't go anywhere. The final score continues after the break.
We are the Queen Anne's Lions, and you're watching the final score on WBOC. Go Lions!
Friday Night Lights aren't just reserved for the prep ranks. The University of Delaware football team kicked off their new season tonight with a non-conference tussle with Jacksonville, starving for a return trip to the playoffs. The Hens must get off to a strong start to the new year. These teams played in 2013 with UD winning 51-35. Opening Dolphins drive, quarterback Cade Bell throws a 22-yard strike to Andy Jones, 7-0 Jacksonville. Second quarter, the Hens defense begins to stiffen. John Nassib getting into the backfield, tackle for a loss. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Delaware reaching into their bag of tricks. Wide receiver pass, Deontay Cherry to Jalen Randolph. What a grab, game tied at 7. However, Delaware drops their season opener to Jacksonville, 20-14. Elsewhere, Salisbury gives up 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns to drop an absolute heartbreaker to Albright, 24-23. Difficult loss in the season opener for the Gauls. A new era of Delaware State football set to begin tomorrow night. First-year head coach Kenny Carter will lead his Hornets onto the field against Liberty. A sense of urgency hopes to key a turnaround for this struggling program. Their first step, get a win on the road against a quality non-conference opponent.
We're moving forward, about on pace like I figured we would. There's a lot to be done, a lot of work to be done, but our kids are starting to understand the sense of urgency that we got to have. We're still learning how to finish.
Team's doing fairly well. There's a lot of areas we can improve in, both offense and defense. Need to pick up the pace a little bit, get our younger guys going a little bit.
And tomorrow night's opening kickoff is set for 7 o'clock. There's a whole lot of emptiness in College Park this year. Gone are Diggs, quarterback C.J. Brown, and Maryland's entire defensive line starters. It returns only 10 starters from last year, tied with Rutgers for the worst in the Big Ten. The Terps have to improve on both sides of the football in order to surpass 7 wins this season. Their third down conversion percentage was, well, let's be honest, terrible. You better get used to a lot of new names and faces this year for the Terps. These newcomers will be the key to their success, and it starts tomorrow against Richmond.
Everybody has a responsibility to play to the best of their ability. You know, it's no different if somebody goes down. The next guy's got to step up and play as good or better than the guy that they're replacing.
The Maryland-Richmond game in College Park will begin at noon. We'll have those highlights tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Across the bridge in Annapolis, Navy will have their season opener. The Midshipmen host Colgate. It's a noon opening kick. The NFL regular season is almost here, my friends, but before it begins, we've got our NFL kickoff special. The 60-minute program will air on WBOC a week from today at 7 o'clock. We are previewing the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Redskins, and the Philadelphia Eagles as they prepare for the 2015 season. You don't want to miss it. Tune in next Thursday, September 10th from 7 to 8, only on WBOC. So what did we learn from the first week in the Bayside Conference? Well, let's not take Kent County for granted anymore. What a huge win. What a wild game in Wharton tonight, knocking off Queen Anne's 46-45. They are certainly moving up in my power rankings. Also, Cambridge, very impressive win on the road at Y-High. And let's not forget about North Carolina. We thought they'd be good this year. I think statement made, knocking off Easton. Great matchup in week 2 next Friday night. North Carolina travels to face Cambridge. That's going to be a tremendous game, a potential game of the week. And also, let's not forget, the Delaware High School football season kicks off next week. Thursday night, the season kickoff. Laurel travels to Sussex Central. I cannot wait for that game as well. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of The Final Score. I'm Scott Abraham. Stay right here for WBOC News this morning with Lindsay Tuckman and Brian Keene beginning at 6 a.m. Hey, have a great weekend. Good night, folks.